Most people want more money, but very few people stop and ask a better question. Do I want to be rich, or do I want to build wealth? And that question matters more than many people realize. Because being rich and building wealth are not always the same thing. A person can look rich and still be financially weak. A person can look ordinary and still be quietly building real wealth. So in this video, I want to explain the difference between being rich and having wealth, why that difference matters, and what kind of financial life we should actually be aiming for. And before we continue, please subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment below. That really helps us grow the channel and helps more people find simple money and business lessons without the hype. Let's start with the first big idea. Being rich usually describes income, possessions, or visible lifestyle. Wealth usually describes financial strength, ownership, and long-term stability. That is the first big difference. When people think of someone who is rich, they often imagine a high salary, a luxury car, designer clothes, expensive restaurants, a big house, or a lifestyle that looks impressive from the outside. And that is exactly why this topic is so important. Because many people are chasing what looks rich, without understanding what actually creates wealth. Being rich is often easier to see. Wealth is often much harder to notice. Rich can be visible. Wealth is often quiet. Rich can mean high income. Wealth means assets, margin, control, and long-term strength. Rich can be temporary. Wealth is usually more durable. That does not mean rich is bad. A high income is not a problem. The problem comes when people confuse income with wealth. Because income alone does not automatically make someone financially strong. A person can earn a lot of money and still be trapped by spending, debt, pressure, and poor decisions. A person can look successful and still be one problem away from financial stress. That is not wealth. That is expensive pressure. Let's make this practical. Imagine two people. The first person earns a very high income. They drive an expensive car. They wear impressive clothes. They go on expensive vacations. From the outside, everyone thinks they are doing great. But behind the scenes, they have heavy monthly payments, very little savings, no real financial margin, and almost no assets that produce value. If the income slows down, the whole lifestyle becomes unstable. That person may look rich, but they are not necessarily wealthy. Now imagine a second person. They live more simply. They do not look flashy. They are careful with spending. They build savings. They avoid bad debt. They invest steadily. They buy assets slowly. They think long-term. That person may not look rich, but they may be quietly becoming wealthy. That is the difference. Rich often focuses on lifestyle. Wealth focuses on strength. Rich often says, "Look what I can buy." Wealth says, "Look what I can sustain, own, and build over time." That is a much more powerful financial position. Now, here is another important distinction. Being rich often depends on active income. Wealth usually grows through ownership. This is huge. A person may be rich because they currently earn a lot. But if everything depends on constant performance, constant pressure, and constant income, then that financial life may not be very secure. Wealth becomes stronger when money is connected to assets, savings, investments, business ownership, cash flow, and things that keep creating value over time. That is why wealthy thinking is usually more patient. Wealthy people often think in terms ownership, equity, margin, assets, cash flow, and long-term compounding. They do not only think salary, status, upgrades, appearances, and short-term comfort. This is why many people stay stuck financially. They spend years trying to look rich instead of learning how to become strong. And that is a dangerous trade, because appearances are expensive. A lot of people use money to create an image before they build a foundation. They upgrade too fast. They spend too freely. They buy things to feel successful. They chase external proof. And in the process, they weaken their future. This is one of the most common financial mistakes in modern life. Trying to look wealthy before becoming financially stable. That usually leads to pressure, not peace. And that brings us to another major difference. Being rich is often about consumption. Wealth is usually about accumulation. Rich thinking says, "What can I afford to buy right now?" Wealth thinking says, "What can I build, keep, grow, and own over time?" Rich thinking asks, "Can I make the payment?" Wealth thinking asks, "Does this strengthen my future?" Rich thinking is often emotional and visible. Wealth thinking is usually disciplined and strategic. Now, of course, this does not mean wealthy people never enjoy life. That is not the point. The point is not to become cold, fearful, or obsessed. The point is to understand that real freedom comes from financial strength, not just financial appearance. And that is what most people actually want. Most people do not really want to look rich. What they truly want is peace, options, security, freedom from panic, freedom from bad debt, freedom from constant stress, freedom to say yes or no wisely, freedom to live with more margin. And that is much closer to wealth than to image. So what should we actually aim for? We should aim for wealth, not just richness. That does not mean you should reject income. Income matters. But income should become a tool for building wealth, not just a tool for funding consumption. That means if your income rises, your wisdom also needs to rise. It means that when more money comes in, not all of it should go into lifestyle upgrades. Some of it should go into saving, investing, buying assets, reducing bad debt, creating margin, and strengthening your future. That is how wealth is built. Slowly, quietly, consistently. And that is why wealth often looks boring before it looks impressive. Because wealth is usually built in habits, not in moments. It grows through living below your means, keeping margin, avoiding lifestyle inflation, owning useful assets, and staying patient long enough for wise decisions to compound. This is not flashy advice, but it is real. And real matters more than flashy. So, here is the bottom line. Being rich is not the same as being wealthy. Rich often means visible income and visible lifestyle. Wealth means lasting financial strength, ownership, margin, and long-term stability. Rich can impress people. Wealth can protect your future. Rich can be loud. Wealth is often quiet. Rich can disappear quickly. Wealth is built to last. So if you are trying to grow financially, do not just ask, "How can I make more money?" That is an important question, but it is not enough. Also ask, "How can I become stronger? How can I build assets? How can I create margin? How can I slowly build a life that is financially stable, not just financially impressive?" Those are wealth questions, and those questions lead to better decisions. So here is your action step. Take a few minutes and ask yourself honestly, am I building wealth, or am I mostly funding appearances? That is not always a comfortable question, but it is a very important one, because real financial progress often begins when we stop chasing the image of success and start building the substance of it. If this video helped you, subscribe to Business Made Simple, like the video, and leave a comment below telling me this. If you had to choose one, would you rather look rich or quietly build wealth? That really helps us grow the channel, and I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.